There's been a little bit of pushback from my last video, so I figured it was enough to um, maybe just show some more photos. Some of the pushback I'm getting is just straight up mind control. People are just resisting what they don't want to hear. I'm used to that. And I just need to remember next time that people need lots more information because they haven't to come over that hump. People really want to believe that the Epstein temple is real. It creates the whole story of the satanic, ritual sacrifice things. The temple really cements that. I don't know what's underground in there. If there's something underground in there, I, 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 I just don't know. I'm not even trying to speculate on that. All I'm saying is that the Epstein temple is fake. It's a movie set. This is a movie set. You're looking at the front. This is the drone footage that confirms what I said yesterday. This is a screenshot from that. Here it is, Rusty Shackelford v. Storyful right there. This is a flat wall. You can even see the two letters, J-E, right here, that are still flat. This is a faux painted shadow inset that makes it look like it's inset. This is the cheesiest door I've ever seen, ever painted. That you can see by the bottom here that this was a perspective that was never meant to be seen from this angle, from the height of this drone right now, because it gives it away. That gives you a clue about what it is. This is a set that's supposed to be seen about eye level, but from farther away, from much farther away. There's a certain vector that this building works at. You would have to pretty much be looking at this building from straight on, or from the left side, or from the right side. See how this shadow, so just on this side of the building, the left side's painted, and then the right doesn't have the inset painted on there. It's going to be looked at from a certain angle to give you that perspective. There's no dome on this building. It blew off in the wind. If you're a billionaire, rich pedophile guy, and you wanted a dome, you would want it to be where when you're inside and looked up, you saw a dome. If the dome blew off in a storm, there'd be a hole here. This is look at this shape of this building. It's a efficient, small footprint. It's not meant to look nice. It looks like a utility building, like a telecom company would maybe lease this island in exchange for having a long-term lease. They would come in and build this building and they would house their equipment. I can't prove that, but it's just, that's what it looks like. That's the footprint of it. It's also very small. The doors show you just how small it is. Where's the view from the back? Whoops. Sorry about that. Here's the view from, this shows you just how small the building is. This is not a billionaire pedophile, I want a temple that's nice and big. This is tiny. This is going to be maybe a boiler room, maybe a maintenance room. That's why all the edges are so boring. In fact, the back of this shows you that this was never meant to be seen by the camera. It has a different flooring in it, and the faux arches aren't painted into it. This is only supposed to be meant to be seen from the front. It's not a temple. These cockatoos or owls or whatever, that's a set. Now, there's three options for that set. A, it could be a movie. Someone wanted to film a movie, a pretty cheesy movie, but still. It could be a movie and they wanted to film it and they leased this island and they said, hey, if we could paint that utility building, we could make it look like a castle and we could film it. Another thing it could be is that there's rumors that, actually not rumors, but Disney would run here to this island and do like snorkeling right off the coast. This could be, they leased the area there to do these things, and they decided to paint this to make it look like you were swimming off of some kind of temple island, something that they would do. Option three is that this building came painted or was painted, and QAnon used this as a beautiful way of drawing in more eyeballs to tell a stronger story, to fascinate the mind with the most fantastic story you could possibly imagine, to pull you in, sit you down on your seat, and keep you watching. This is how you hypnotize someone. You tell them a story that's so unbelievable, they're astonished. They don't have a choice but to stay in the room and listen. And this is our government, so why would they not? There's so many things at stake. This is the allegory of the cave. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's this myth. It's not a myth. This is how you control people. They've been controlling us since 2500 BC with propaganda, going back as far as Egypt even. Actually, even further back. To look into the Talmud to see this kind of stuff. But here's your population right here. They're in the shadows. They don't see the real light. They're stuck in the shadows. They're being entertained by pop stars that are placed on a pedestal. And up here on the pedestal, their shadows are shown on the wall, and they're entertaining. All these people are entertained by them, and they argue over them. Meanwhile, on the other side of the wall, here are the people that are running the show. They know what's really going on. They're putting new drama up here because as long as there's something exciting to see on the wall, all these people stay. Few people want to come out here outside. There's only a few. And the ones that do they're gonna pay for it. People are gonna be very upset by anyone who's trying to leave. Why? Because you're ruining the show. Why? Because you're not trusting the plan. Because you're not eating popcorn. Because you're not sitting down just waiting for something magical to happen. We are waiting for something magical to happen. I think that's trouble. I can't prove it, but that's trouble. Every day this is going to get worse. The same people that do false flags, that plan these mass shootings, plan these kind of events. Epstein was busted 11 years ago. That means the good guys and the bad guys have had 11 years to prepare for this op. That's why Steve Bannon went to Epstein's apartment early at dawn this time last year and went to see him and said, "You have 1 year." And the very next day it was launched. This scene opened with QAnon posting that the Clintons were behind human trafficking. I think the Clintons are behind human trafficking. I think Epstein is a bad guy that did all these things that he's did to these victims. I think that him being busted 11 years ago is being used to take advantage of us. It will be used to usurp more of our rights. We will follow a leader again who's promising to take us to the promised land where there's no more trauma. But it's the same guy pulling the strings, putting the stars up on a pedestal to entertain us. It's the same guy that's arranging for all the bad stuff too. This isn't a new phenomenon. The last 4 or 5, every president since JFK has been a part of this. And if you look back further, look at Rockefeller. The guy killed 66 people in a coal mine in Colorado. Nobody was able to take him to court for that. Before that, he was given more riches than he was given a 90% monopoly over all the oil supply a year prior to the Civil War erupting. These are planned events. This NWO has been in power a long time, thousands of years. And that's why every day they get further and further in their agenda. They call it the Great Work. That's why we lose another World Bank, another national bank to a World Bank every year. Another country falls. Every year we enter another conflict, and we have no choice over what's happening. There's a solution. You have to stop believing in government. You have to stop believing that DC is a magnanimous good guy that just happens to be broken right now. That's The con. The con is that they originally were meant to do good. They're just a little bit messed up right now. And if we can just get the right person in there, it'll fix itself. That's the con. That's what's keeping you looking at the wall. As you divest your belief in the government, put that belief into yourself and into sovereignty. You're not just going to be able to cut off a belief. You always have to replace it with something else. Replace it with the power of yourself, the power of your family, with the power of the soil, with the power of you as an individual. We can stop the NWO, but we have to pull out of our belief core in this government. We only have so much belief we can give every day. We're giving way too much of it to these people. Over 40% of your life force goes to them, whether you want it or not. You can stop. It starts with belief. Start doubting them for the liars that they are. They've earned that. They've earned that. And anyone who's a good guy will tell you that. They'll be up front going, yeah, you shouldn't trust us. There's no way you should trust us. If QAnon was purely fighting for you right now, he'd be pushing homeschool, gardening, and not using the petrodollar anymore. He'd be pushing everything except for DC. The answer, there is an answer, but it's sovereignty. It's self-supremacy. It's a lot like going camping. It's going to be uncomfortable if you're not in the right mindset. But you can get in the right mindset. We can fix this. But the door's closing. I don't want to tell the next generation, well, we were eating popcorn, man. We were really just trusting the plan that everything's going to work out. Let's not tell our grandkids that. That's just not going to work out at all. We're going to be looked at the same way we're looking at our grandparents, who thought everything was just going to work out fine. America's the NWO. The hardest thing to face is that we're the bad guys. But we can fix it. We can fix it.